Let me go ahead and take a quick photo of everybody who's here on time. Thanks for being here on time. Please go ahead and get your camera on. Great to see you all, as usual. My favorite class, my only class, but my favorite class. That's like the joke that my grandfather-in-law always says to my wife. My wife's the only granddaughter. He has 4 grandsons, so he always says, "Oh, my favorite granddaughter's here." And I always thought it was cheesy, but I guess it kind of is. So here I go. Good to be with you all. So we're on day 2 of Excel. So hope everybody got a chance to watch the video last night. Before we jump into that, though, some housekeeping things. First things first, is our assistant instructor, Ashley Ross, here? Ashley, you there? All right, there we go. Yep, we can hear you. How you doing?
Hello.
All right, Ashley, I'm good, thanks. Well, go ahead and kick off our class. Where are you from? What made you want to join Year Up? And what is something interesting about you?
So my name is Ashley. I'm from the Bronx. I joined Year Up because I actually failed out of college due to personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do something, meaningful with my life. So I joined Year Up, and fun fact is, I can wiggle my ears.
That is a really fun fact. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I don't know many people that can do that. So, well, we're going to do something a little bit different today, Ashley. I don't want to put you on the spot, but one of the things I want to start doing with the assistant instructor is I want the assistant instructor to pose the warm-up question. So I'll give you a second to think about it, but like, what's a question that you want to pose to our group? It could be something like, what's your favorite book, or what's your favorite, place to relax, something of that nature. And you're going to put your answer in the chat box, everybody. So Ashley, do you have a question for our group that we haven't asked yet?
Can I have 15 seconds to think about one?
Of course, 15 seconds are all yours. And as we wait for those 15 seconds, if you're not on camera and you can be on camera, please go ahead and get on. Also, just a quick reminder, the deliverable due for today was you're supposed to watch the video on Excel. You weren't required to do this discussion board yet, but thank you for those of you who did, because today we're going to be spending most of our time talking about the video. Usman says it was too long. Well, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. So it's only 30 minutes. But a lot of people said it was really, really instructive and very helpful. But thank you for everyone who took the time to watch it. And for those who didn't, it's going to be a long morning for some of you. So, all right, that was 15 seconds. Ashley Ross, what's our question for the day?
Question is, who is your favorite actor or actress? And
all right. Okay, excellent. So in the chat box, your favorite actor or actress and why. Thank you, Ashley Ross. Appreciate you being here today as the assistant instructor. And just a reminder, Ashley is the only person who should be interrupting me today. So we got Johnny Depp. We got Morgan Freeman. Who else we got? Melissa McCarthy, Adam Sandler, Anne Hathaway, Jackie Chan, Ryan Reynolds. Wow, we have quite the variety. Seth Rogen, Mark Wahlberg. Quite the list. What about you, Ashley Ross? Who's your favorite actor or actress and why?
So my favorite actor is Idris Elba.
Okay, why is she your favorite?
He's my favorite because he's really good looking.
Awesome. Well,
that's my favorite actor.
There you go. I appreciate the honesty. Very cool. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really much of a movie watcher. I probably literally watch like maybe 5 movies a year. So I can't really say who my favorite actor is, but I don't know. That's a good question. All these are great. Yeah, there you go. Rainn Wilson, that's my favorite actor, the guy who plays Dwight in The Office. That's my favorite. All right, so last weekend, this past weekend rather, were our midterms were due. I want to say yesterday I took some time to grade them. Everybody did a great job. So, kudos to you for working hard to get the job done. But I do want to just bring up 1 point. A lot of you lost 1 point on the midterm because you didn't have a call to action in your email. So let me just share with you a couple of examples of some of your colleagues who did have a call to action. Ashley, can you see that screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So here's Christian. As you can see at the bottom of his email, it says, if you're interested, please respond to this email. So like right down here. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry. So what does he have? He says, please respond. Like there's a reason that he's writing. It's not just giving you information. It's warranting a legitimate response. He's saying, hey, let me know. Most of you who got this one right did this exact same thing that he did. You said, respond to this email, let me know. Here's another example. Mahmoud did it this way. Any interested should contact me. So I just wanted to, bring that up. It's because I know quite a few of us in class, we missed this step and it unfortunately cost us a point. But when you send a professional email, there should always be something that warrants a response. And a very easy way to do that, what Mahmoud did, what Christian did. If you're interested in more information, just go ahead and contact me. All right. So that's that information. All right. So let me go ahead and get my screen cleared off. Great. So last night's video. That's what we're going to do today. We kind of have two big things on the agenda. I want to spend the first part of today talking about last night's video. And then we're going to talk about a breakout that you're going to do with a small group in the second half of today's class. So I'm actually going to be relying on quite a few of you today who are really good at Excel to sort of explain things to those of us who are still learning and our knowledge is still emerging. So what I want to do is this. I'm going to launch a poll, and we're going to talk about what do we want to talk about in more detail. And you can press all of them if you want. You can press one or two. But go ahead and answer this question on the screen. What do we want to explore in more detail? All right, we need like 8 more votes. All right, take about 15 more seconds. All right, I've got 29 of the 32 voted. All right, that should be good enough. So we're gonna go ahead and end the polling. Let me go ahead and take a quick photo so we know what we're working with here. Great, and these are the results. Excuse me. So formulas are our number one requested item to talk about, followed by inserting charts, which we can talk about as well, inputting data, and adding cell borders and colors. So let's go ahead and do this. Do me a favor, if you are like, I get formulas, I know how they work, I'm proficient in them, I'm happy to demo how that works. Right in the chat box, I can do formulas. And we're gonna ask you to go ahead and demonstrate a formula for us. So in the chat box, formulas, no big deal, I can do that. Let me know. Anybody can do a formula? If not, I can do it. I know one of you can do it. In the chat box. I think it's not that bad. All right, Hannah, how do we do this? Hannah, why don't you go ahead and if you don't mind, actually, I'll share a screen and you can work on mine. Let me go ahead and pull my Excel up. right. Ashley Ross, can you see that screen?
Not yes. Now I can.
Okay, great. All right, remote control. I'm going to give it to Hannah. All right, Hannah, you now have control of the screen. All right. And David, you also said that you're pretty good at formulas.
I'm all right.
You're okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
Hannah and David, you're going to do this collaboratively. So Hannah, take yourself off mute.
It's still kind of confusing to me though.
It's okay. All right. So why don't we start off like this? So David, why don't you ask Hannah to put in a piece of data. Let's just say what are we going to try to figure out today? Yesterday we did the trip to Yankee Stadium. What's today's data we want to figure out?
How much a family can divide income to expenses, so like basic expenses like rent or grocery.
Okay. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead and make a really simple budget? So go ahead, Hannah, type in that cell that you're on right now, rent. All right, now next to it, how much is rent going to be, Hannah? What do you think? Are these people living large or are they living pretty simple? All right, $1,700 a month. Now let's say groceries, and underneath rent, Hannah, how much is how they spend on groceries? Are these folks eating filet mignons or are they eating, tuna? And we'll say it's a family of 4. Let's just say, I don't know, what do you think, $400? That's how much groceries are, $100 a week. All right. Let's go ahead and say electricity underneath groceries. David, how much is electricity for a family of 4 living in an apartment in New York City? What do you think?
Say like 150.
150 sounds about right. All right. Or 100 doesn't matter. 150, and let's do one more. How about we do a cell phone bill? All right. So how much is a cell phone, assuming every family member has a cell phone, and how much you think you're going to spend for that, Hannah? You can just give me a number. 300. All right. Great. So now the question that I believe you were asking, David, is we're understanding formulas. We want to know what they're spending on their household budget. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. All right, Hannah. Now, Hannah, unmute yourself and explain to us kind of what you're doing right now. Because what you just did was an important step. Can you go back one and walk us through that? We can't hear you, Hannah.
No, she said she can't unmute.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, what Hannah just did was she grabbed all the cells and then she pressed the dollar amount underneath the center where it says accounting, and that's making all a dollar amount. Now, let's do this. Somebody who isn't Hannah and isn't David, raise your hand and instruct in Hannah how she would add all those cells together. And raise your hand and Ashley Ross will call on you. Do we have any hands, Ashley?
Yeah, Usman.
Usman? All right. What's Hannah to do to add up all the bills?
Hello. So Hannah, to know what she's gonna pay me, because I'm the landlord, she's gonna have to add from D3 to D6.
Okay, but how's she gonna do that?
Comma, open comma. D3.
Okay, she types D3.
And the exclamation, not exclamation. Yeah, the 2 dots. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, what we learned
The
yesterday,
2,
the through.
yeah.
Yep.
To D6.
Okay.
And then close parentheses.
Yep. Go back for real quick. Thank you, Usman. Thank you, Hannah. Go back to and press D7 for me, Hannah. Now look up at the very top where it says equals sum, parentheses D3 through D6, close parentheses. That's what she did. Now go ahead and lower your hands. I want to ask a question to the group. What would happen if Hannah just went into D7 and just wrote equals 1,700 plus 400 plus 150 plus 300? Would she get the right answer? Same answer? Yeah, she would get the same answer. But what's wrong with doing it that way? Raise your hand and Ashley Ross will call on you. What's wrong with just putting the dollar amount and not the cell? So who has their hand up, Ashley?
Luis?
Luis, yep.
Because let's say in the future one of your expenses changes, it would just automatically update if you did it the first way.
Yes, exactly. Luis hit the nail on the head. So imagine that, January, it's really cold and your electric bill's 300, right? So what Hannah can do now in January when she makes her budget, she changes it to 300. Go ahead and change it for us. I know we're all dreading cold weather, but it's coming whether we like it or not. And then press enter. And then now look at D7. It just went to 2,700. It automatically populates because she had the formula and didn't just press the buttons. All right, so you can lower your hands. I want to ask, are there any other questions on formulas and how they work that we can try to figure out together? If you have a question, raise your hand. Ashley Ross will call on you.
Yes, David has a question.
Thank you, Ashley. So the sum, when you're multiplying or adding or subtracting, it's all based on the letters coordinating with the numbers.
Yeah, whatever.
That's how you do the formulas.
Yeah, whatever cell you select, exactly, and then whatever you want to use. And one thing we didn't talk about yesterday is multiplication. This is a little bit more interesting. So go ahead, Hannah, and go back to D7. Now I want you to go on the other side of where it's the D6 parenthesis and click up there. Yep. Now use the star function. Now press 12. Thanks. Now that's your annual cost. So see what she just did there? So this is our monthly cost. Now we know I'm going to spend $32,400 per year because there's 12 months in a year to do, that's how much my rent, my groceries, my electric, and my cell phone. I mean, that's not perfectly right because what Louis said earlier, maybe electric bill changes, maybe groceries fluctuate a little bit depending on, the season, but that's the way you can do the math. And you could do anything. You could divide it, you could subtract it, you could do it any way you want. So in theory, she could divide it by 4. Yep, exactly. How much is it per week? $675 per week. Perfect, Hannah. Thank you. Is that answering your question, David?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions on formulas before we move on to the next area? Great. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. This is the point where me and Hannah do a tug of war with my mouse. All right, thank you so much.
That was really upsetting that I couldn't speak during that.
I am so sorry, Hannah. Why couldn't you speak? In background noise?
Because I was supposed to unmute myself before I grabbed the mouse. It doesn't allow me to work my own screen.
I'm so sorry. Well, maybe we can give you another opportunity to demo something else as we keep going through the list. All right, let me go ahead and look at my the photo I took. What do we got next? So we had understanding formulas. Next thing was inserting charts. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Anybody here feel like, oh yeah, I understand charts? In the chat box, say I could show how to do that. This is where it gets pretty technical. We're here to support you. You're not going to be alone. Yeah, what are those? You're about to find out. Your world's about to be rocked, Usman. No, not pivot charts, like showing like graphics, like a pie chart of this budget we just made. You can handle that, right, Ashley Ross?
I can try.
No, yeah, you can do it. You're really good. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen again. It was very, very basic, formula or very basic data. All right, remote control, Ashley Ross. All right, Ashley. Now imagine I wanted to make a pie chart because I want to know what percentage of my money is going towards what expenses. How would I do that?
Do I have control of your screen?
You do.
Okay.
Does it work? Yeah, like imagine I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at my rent. I'm looking at my groceries. I'm looking at my electric. I'm looking at my cell phone. And I want to know, like in a pie chart, I want to have a visual on how much money is going to like each thing. How might I do that? There's actually a really easy way to do it if you need some help, but I'll let you show us first.
So I'm gonna go to insert
Yep.
chart. And you say you wanted a pie chart?
Yep, show me a pie chart.
Okay, let me see.
Whichever one you want. Okay.
And then I forgot what happens next. Hold on. Let me
It's all right. Yep, you got it. You're on the right path. Yep, you grab the data source. Perfect.
And it's supposed to come up here.
It's supposed to. I'm not sure why what we did wrong here. Yeah, hit apply. There we go. That should be it. Anybody have any idea? Here, try. Here, let me try taking over for a second. Or you want
Yeah.
this?
No,
That's what.
you can take over because I don't know why it's not going.
Yeah, that's acting weird. All right, hold on. It might not be enough data. That could be part of it too.
Maybe before you actually insert it, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying this. Maybe like select the actual data and then maybe do insert.
Or let's give
Maybe
that a
wrong.
try. So I'll hit formulas, insert pie chart. Oh, there we go. So we grabbed it. Let's see what we just did there. No, that was kind of quick. I'll do it again. So now I have a visual where I can see how much of my money is going to what. So I know it's kind of hard to see. If you remember the video from last night, you can zoom in. But the bottom here is rent, this blue. So most of my money is going here. Groceries, orange is going there. Electric is going there. Cell phone, it's going there. So it automatically makes it. I can change it if I want to. There's all sorts of different formats I can do. I can change the colors if I want to. You know, whatever I think looks, you know, most aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, thank you. I'm not sure who said that, but yeah, let's make sure you just grab it first, and then you do the insert. And you can choose whichever chart you want to choose. Andre, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, so if there's a change in the data, does that mean that they'll automatically change in the pie chart?
Good question. Let's give it a try. Let's say it's July. You're not using so much of your electric anymore, 150. There you go. Let's say you move to a more expensive place. See? Let's say you go from, you know, Verizon to Cricket. Right? So it's pretty amazing, isn't it? So people get, you know, I think a lot of us get kind of overwhelmed with Excel, but once you get a handle on it, it's a really powerful tool. So just like that, we just, you know, imagine if your whole entire budget was this, and you could have a visual for what it looked like. And you don't have to use a pie chart. Excuse me. You can use another one as well. Suppose you want to use a bar chart. Not a statistic. Right here's a bar chart. So there you go. So like imagine like let's go ahead and workshop this. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. But like in the working world, when might you would use like that visualization? Can you raise your hand? When might it be good to have a pie chart or a bar chart when you're working?
Pablo?
When you're gonna present, like, let's say you work at a company that has a lot of to do with like statistics and numbers. When you're gonna go present data to them, like, oh, how much sold and how long and how many weeks and how many days.
Absolutely, especially if you have a very complex data set that's going to be really hard to like understand. You have like that very simple visual, and it shows them, oh, okay, like this makes sense. I see how you got those numbers. Excellent, Pablo. Thank you. Who's next? Ashley?
Ricardo just had his hand up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my answer is going to be similar to his. When you have to, I guess you can also go with the company's earnings.
Mm-hmm.
If you're adding quarterly or anything like that, that would be a very good representation instead of just looking at the numbers. I feel like people get more excited when they see a chart and the difference instead of
Yeah.
just looking at the number. If they see it like just numbers, they're like, okay, this makes sense. But if we had a really big growth within the first quarter, they'll be like, oh, look at this. This is amazing and things like that.
Totally. Yep. Excellent, Ricardo. Thank you. Who's next, Ashley?
Andre.
Okay, so I don't necessarily know if this is right, but I know with some companies they use like pie charts to get like the general aspect of the comparisons going on. And if people want to look into further details, to have it like on a brief report or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, Andre. Thank you. And anyone
And
else?
one more, Moses.
So the way I usually see people use pie charts and charts like that, especially on Excel, is when they're showing someone, so that way they're not like overwhelmed by the amount of information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're talking to people like investors or talking to stakeholders, like they don't want every nitty-gritty detail. They just want the high-level overview of what's going on. So that's why pie charts and graphs and these sort of visualizations come handy. So the very last thing that there's to discuss is putting borders and cleaning up your data set so it looks a little bit nicer and cleaner. Does anybody feel confident that they know how to do that and they want to demo it for the group? It's not, not super complicated. And if so, you can, put in the chat box or raise your hand and I'll give you the control of the mouse. All right, I'll go ahead and do it. Not a problem at all. Happy to. So let's go back to our sheet. I'm going to go ahead and close this. If you remember from the video last night, he talked about, also you can see that, right, Ashley Ross? You're good? Thank you.
I can see it.
All right, great. So he talked about, like, imagine I was going to print this out. And I was like, all right, this is my budget. I want to show my budget. Actually, I can't show you the printing function, but let me see here. I don't know. Let me know if my screen goes blank. Can you see that, Ashley Ross?
I can see the print page.
Excellent, thank you. So like, this isn't very nice looking, you see? It's like, it's kind of hard to read. Now imagine if there's only, really 5 data points on here. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, like to keep it like that. And imagine if you had 50 on here or 100 on here, it'd be really disorganized, really jumbled. So one of the things that he talks about, I think is very helpful. First of all, I put total there. You can see how I went up here and I grabbed, it turned black there with the arrows. So I'm dragging this over. You can do that as well. Now I want to make this a little bit cleaner looking. I'm going to write budget. Actually, it's monthly budget. Monthly budget. 2 words. All right. That's good. And now I want to make it so it's easier to read my printing. I'm grabbing everything. Very simple, just very simple stamp here. And up here underneath all the fonts, and you can also change those too if you wanted to. You can make it like that. You can make it bigger. All that's available just like it is. You can make it a yellow background if you want. Whatever, pleases your eye. Then you can go here like this and you can add a border. So if I want borders all the way around, I want like that. Now I want to make this bigger. Does everybody see what I just did there? I'll do it again. I'll go a little slower. So I went from this. I grabbed that. I went up here. I want all borders. Now it has the borders. I want a little bit bigger. Okay. Monthly budget. That's too big. That's good enough. All right, make sure I bold this. And when I center it, up other way. So what we do, now I go to File, now I go to Print, and see how that's a lot easier to read than it was the first time around. The first time reading is this is kind of confusing. I don't really get this. And what sometimes people will do is they'll put the total there like that. Like this is our, total It's actually not the total, it's the sum divided by 4. That's our total. And that's our monthly expenses, okay? So that's how you can add a border and do it that way. It's a lot easier to read, especially when you try printing it out. One other thing I want to draw your attention to is you see like these little skinny line right here between G and H. That's the cutoff point for the printing as well. That's important to draw your attention to. So if I, sorry about that. So if I dragged it over like that and tried to print, it gets cut off. So make sure when you're building out your budget, if you have to print it or whatever you're building out, that you don't drag it past that little dotted line, because then it'll not come out into printing. All right. So, all right. Any questions in regard to those 4 things? Inputting data, formulas, borders, printing, and some visualizations. Anything else?
I just have a question. For Excel, when doing like graphs or whatnot, you know how like there's cells in the background, but I'm not sure if there's a way to like get rid of those cells and you just have it like as a simple page.
Oh, are you saying like here, I'll go back to our document we're working on. So what you're saying, Majida, is like, how do you make it so like this isn't there? The monthly budget on the left?
No, you see like these cells like that are in the background, like A1.
Oh, yeah.
Getting rid of those. Like it's just a blank. I know it's possible, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, there is a way to do it that I'm totally not sure how to do. I'm going to look it up when you're in your breakout and figure that out for you, because that's a good question. Yeah, what she's asking is, and it's a very good question, is like these cells that are like behind the chart where here at this, it doesn't look nice. So you want to make sure that you remove those. I'm going to look that up when you guys are in your breakout. That's really good.
Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go to page layout.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the remote control, Ashley.
Okay.
Here you go. I want you to show us how it's done. All right, you got it.
Okay. Wait. I don't think that I'm controlling it. It's not clicking anything. Okay.
Yep, there it goes.
Yes. So here it says grid lines.
Mm-hmm.
If you unclick this, it will take away the cell's background.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Man, so it's so easy, but we make it so complicated. So
I know all my life I thought it was so complicated. I would always search up videos, but never got to the hang of it.
Well, I'm glad we got some experts in the room. Thank you so much, Ashley Ross. All right. Okay, it's 9:33. Let's come back at 9:38 for our breakout. All right, 5-minute break. Go ahead and do what you gotta do, and I'll see you in 5. All right. All right, it's 9:38. Thank you all for being back on camera on time. I'm going to go ahead and drop the assignment we're going to do in class with our groups. I'll read it to you, and you can ask any questions. So Tom and Kim, they have a combined annual take-home income of $50,000. Their monthly bills: rent $1,800, student loans $500, car note $350. Electricity $100, internet $75, cell phones $150, groceries $200, credit card debts $150, and then fun money like going out to eat $200, gifts $150, weekend getaways $400. Using Excel with your team, create a budget for them using 2 formulas: the total of their income and the total of their expenses. Also create a pie chart breaking down their expenses like we just did. The budget should be clean. It should be well organized with consistent fonts and colors. So it should not be like scrambled all over the place, random. It should be able to look at it and within a few seconds understand what's going on. Any questions on Tom and Kim and their budget? The only question I have is why are you taking $400 weekend getaways when you still have student loan debt? But that's their business. Okay. All right. Breakout rooms. There'll be five of you in each one. We're gonna come back. Let's say 10 o'clock. 20 minutes should be enough. I'll be in the main room if you need me. Happy budgeting. See you later. Hey, Kevin, Shantae, Mahmood, please join your breakout. Hey, Kevin, you there? Mahmood, you there? Welcome back, welcome back. Camera's on if you can.
Hey Eric, I came to the realization of something while I was in the breakout room.
Yeah.
Group. Turns out so I have an issue remembering where some of the stuff were, and then I forgot there's a search bar feature on Excel.
Yep.
So I don't have to know what it is. I just have to know the name of it.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Excel has so many features on it. Like I said yesterday, it is the most powerful application in all of Office. I mean, it's an amazing program. It's complex. There's just no doubt about it. But the ways in which you can use it are like literally never ending. So awesome. I want to really quickly, while everybody makes their way back, do a poll because tomorrow we're going to be doing our own budgets. On the right side next to your name, give me a green check if you already have a household budget for yourself, and a red X if you're like, no, I don't really have a household budget for myself. Green check, I budget my money already. Red X, no, to be honest, I don't. Just I want to know where everybody's at. All right, so it looks like everyone who's answered so far, about 2/3 do not have a budget, 1/3 do have a budget. All right, thank you. Next question, give me a green check if you're still living with your parents or with your family and they take care of most of your expenses. A red X if you're like, no, I'm on my own. I live with roommates, I live with my partner, I live with my spouse. Okay.
Sorry, Eric, it's Luis. I have a question.
Sure, Luis.
Because I live with my parents, but they definitely don't support me. I still have to pay for my own stuff.
Sure. Then
what would you consider that?
That would be a red X. Like you're on your own,
Okay.
more or less. Do you pay for your rent to your parents?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And you're.
Yeah.
I'm talking. If your green check is like they pay for groceries, they pay for rent, they pay for laundry, they pay for everything. That's a green check. If you're a red X, if you're like, no, I cover all that on my own. Ashley Ross says, I wish. Okay. Wow. So we got a good mix here. So most of us are paying our own ways. So tomorrow we're going to talk about budgeting, and you're going to hear me rant a lot about budgeting because I have friends, and look at me like I'm like your older, wiser brother. I have friends who make $200,000 a year, and they're broke. And I kid you not, like they're broke. Like they have student loan, they have debt, they have credit card debt, they can't make ends meet, and they make $200,000 a year as like software engineers at like Google, or, working at hedge funds. And I got friends who make 40 grand a year, and they're doing well. They got money in the bank. They're saving for retirement. They're doing well. And the difference between the person who makes all the money and is broke, and the person who makes 40 grand a year and is doing okay, is this magical thing called a budget. So these next two days, we're talking about budgets, what they do. I know a lot of your minds are blown right now. So you're gonna hear me rant a lot about budgets tomorrow, how important they are, and how good of a resource they're going to be. Excel is a tremendous resource to make your budget, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But just so you know, that's coming. So I know a lot of you joined Year Up. You want financial gain, and you might have this philosophy that says, "Oh, well, once I make that 50, 60, 70 a year, like I'm good." Like that's the first step, you know. Second step is how do you manage your money, right? How do you manage your money? So we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. We got 13 minutes left. Group 5, Shante, Manny, Pablo, Samaje. Can somebody please share your screen and show us how you completed this brick activity? Group 5, Shante, Manny, Pablo, Samaje. Look at this piece of art. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. This is amazing. All right, who's explaining this to us?
I guess I am.
All right, Pablo, let's hear it.
So first, we wrote down all the information that was given to us, and then for the total expense, we did equal sum C3 and C13, and for the total income, we did sum parentheses C14 divided by 12 because that's yearly, and then we highlighted all the numbers and the expenses, and then we went to insert pie chart, and then we created this.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Pablo. Keep that screen up for a second. Some of you had some confusion. This couple, Tom and Kim, they do not make $50,000 a month. All right, if they did, that's a lot of money. They make $50,000 a year. If you paid close attention to the rules, not the rules, but the description, it says their annual take-home income is $50,000 per year, because I wanted you to do what Pablo's highlighting right now, divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. So that's how you got that number. Go back and show us that number again. $4,166 per month. That is their take-home pay. Their total expenses are $4,075 is their total expenses. So $50,000 a month is $600,000 a year. They're not making that. Most of us will never earn that kind of money. Hope some of us do, but that's a lot of money. They're making $50,000 a year combined. All right, excellent. Thank you so much. You can stop sharing your screen, Pablo. Let's hear it for group number 5. Beautiful job. Next, I want to see group number 2, Jesus, Julissa, Luis, Mahmoud, and Zena. Who has the presentation or the sheet to show us?
I'll show you my screen, but I feel like I got it wrong. Like the
it's okay.
Total expenses. Yeah.
Let's take a look. All right. So your annual income, 50,000. Everything's broken down there very nicely. So what do you think? What went wrong there?
Because I did total expenses. It's not even letting me click it. I did this.
Yep.
Yearly expense, I did C13 times 12 because there's 12 months in a year.
Right.
And then money left over in the year is 1,100. But I don't know. After seeing that, I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, that's money left over in a year. So all you would do is divide that by 12, and then that's how much is left over per month.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I just did this because I was bored. This percentage. And
good.
And I don't know how to show percentages on like the website version.
Right.
There's like no option.
I'm wondering maybe there isn't one. I know the website version is a little bit limited, but this is fine. This is the visual we wanted to see. So thank you for showing us this. Appreciate it. Let's hear it for group number 2, associated group. And last group, number 6, Amadul, Ashley, Neftali, and Tiana. Who from that group wants to share their screen? Group 6, Amadul, Ashley, Neftali, and Tiana. Anybody? Who's
Ashley she's on a break right now.
Oh, okay. Not a problem at all. While Ashley's on her break, does another group want to step up and share theirs? They think they did a pretty good job. Hannah Holmes. What group? Who are you with, Hannah?
Group 1.
And who were your colleagues?
I was with Eric. Man, I forgot. that
Hold
quick.
on.
Me.
You're with Chelsea, David, Eric, Hannah, and Kevin Bueno.
We got into good conversation. I kind
Oh yeah, all about Excel. I hope.
of forgot. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, how Tim and Kim living with some unreported income if they can afford to spend all this money a month.
Yes, and I broke down everybody's income because my girl Kim is supposed to be making more than Tom, okay? And here I just added the two incomes. I had them have separate incomes. And then here I just put B5 divided by 12. See up here.
Perfect.
I included all the fun money in one because it just doesn't sit well with me, the $400 vacations.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Hannah. Why not?
Because they can't afford to do anything. They have no emergency money. It's looking like they're not even saving.
Yep. Hannah's a woman after
I
my
don't know
own
if they
heart.
plan to have kids later.
Right. Yeah, it looks like to me like they're living at their max budget right now.
Yeah, super. So I just went and put the sum of E2 colon E10. And then I got my total expenses for all that.
Yeah.
The monthly incomes, the total incomes here, monthly incomes here, and then total expenses here. We took the grid away in the back because David didn't like it. And we have this pie chart with everything.
Awesome. Looks great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's a beautiful, beautiful spreadsheet. I love how you made the colors blue and gray at the bottom. This is on point. And Hannah brings up a very interesting point, the fun money, $750 per month they spend just on things that are fun. You can stop sharing your screen, Hannah. I'm going to show you guys something very quickly. I want to just put things in perspective for you about money and how money works. Some of you know this already, some of you don't. It'll take 2 seconds, I promise. You go to retirement calculator. Let me just find one really quick. NerdWallet is a good one. So let's imagine you're 25 years old. Let's say 23. All right. You make $60,000. You have zero in savings right now, but every single month you're going to save $750. That would mean by the time you're 67, you would have $2.38 million. It's pretty incredible, isn't it? So if they're little like weekend trips or whatever, they're like going to, to the Jersey Shore, or they're living it up down at a club downtown and getting bottle service and doing all the things that they do. Or they take that money and they save it. By the time they're 67, they have $2.3 million. That's pretty insane, isn't it? So let's just say you live to be 97, 30 years, you could live in like a really beautiful house, like in Florida or California or Hawaii. You could like enjoy your golden years. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't do this. They'll save like $100 a month and they'll have $300,000 at the end of their life. That might seem like a lot of money, but if you live 30 more years, it's not a substantial amount of money to hold you over. So just some things to consider for all of us as we are planning out our budget. Hannah, is your hand up from earlier?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So just some things to consider. These are things that I'm very passionate about because I see people that I love and care about all the time spend money on things that, spend things on things that I would just think that's kind of foolish. Save your money because, one day, guess what? You're going to be in your 60s and 70s. It's going to be much harder to find a job. And you don't want to be 70 years old, still working. I want to be on a beach with my fishing rod, listening to a podcast on my AirPods when I'm 70 years old. That's what I want to be doing. I want to be working a job personally. So that's me. You can do what you want. I'm just putting it out there for you. Any questions on anything we discussed today and before we log off?
Yeah, I had a question, Eric.
Yes, Ricardo or Ricky.
How do you add percentages to the chart?
Add percentages to the chart?
Yeah, because I saw that one group had percentages on the chart, and I was.
Yeah, of course. Which group was that? Was that Shante, Manny, Pablo Samaje, or was that Jesus, Julissa, Luis, and do you remember?
They had a 3D chart, I believe.
They had the which chart?
The 3D chart, I believe.
Okay, which group was that? Can you show your screen again and walk us through how you did the percentages? Thanks, Pablo.
I don't know. It just gave it to me.
It gave it to you automatically. Okay.
Yeah. because when I chose the chart,
Hmm.
let me see if I can make another one.
Sure. Yeah, some of the functions they don't, they like this one doesn't have percentages, but it looks a bit.
Yeah, so I was just looking through these, and then it gave me one with percentage.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have the actual application, right, Pablo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I think if you actually click on the chart itself, on the right side, it'll give you 3 options.
Okay.
In the chart. Like just, it doesn't give you, because for me, it gave me 3 options and then it told me about labels.
Yeah, Majid, are you able to share your screen, Majid, or you're in your phone?
I'll do that. I'm on my laptop now.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at yours. We got about 2 more minutes so we can check it out.
Okay, so for me, it gives me these 3 options on the right. Like I just simply click on this and then it gives the chart element, the chart styles, and then the chart filters.
Mhm.
And then I did the chart elements and then over here it says data labels. At first it was unclicked, so like this was simply what it gave me, and then I clicked it, and then from here it gives you data call out, and then it just automatically gives you the percentages as well.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're on a PC, Majida?
I'm on the laptop.
Yeah, but you're not on an Apple. You're on like a Dell or something. Okay. And Pablo, you were on a Mac, right?
Yeah, but mine's from the actual Microsoft program.
It is interesting because mine looks like Majida's. Mine, if I click on the right, and yours didn't have that, but it might be different on different applications. But yeah, under chart elements, Ricky.
Yeah, because I can get this if I do it through the Outlook and I just click Excel. It gives me the same site.
Okay. And Moses, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I noticed that yeah, like the Mac and then with like ever on Microsoft, like they have like some like are missing different features. Like when we were trying to put borders, when Ricardo was trying to put borders on the chart he made for us, on his computer, like the borders features wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it depends on what software you're running. That might be a little bit different. So just requires a lot of playing around with it and figuring out what works best. So thank you for that update. All right, so we're up to time. Ashley Ross, you were a fabulous assistant. What's that, Ashley?
Did you have a question? Because I saw his hand up. Wanted to know if
I think now, was that from earlier, Pablo?
Oh, no, I was just going to answer Moses. I think it depends where you open the application, because if you open it through like Safari or Google Chrome, it gives you the one that everyone else has, like the Dell one.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's helpful to know. All right. We're at time. Ashley Ross, can you in the chat read the deliverable that's due tonight?
So the deliverable tonight is to watch the Excel video and then write in a discussion board post 5 of the most helpful tips by tonight at 11:59. And then your responses to at least 2 people are due on Thursday at 11:59. So today, the first part of the deliverable is due. Don't forget.
Yes. Thank you, Ashley, for that reminder. I remember last week a few folks just thought everything was due Thursday. The first part is due tonight. So you have till midnight. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Eric.